went on. I enjoyed doing things with children that were hands-on and being with them all the time, out on the playground as well as in the classroom. And I got to see different leaderships out on the playground that I didn't notice in the classroom, so I could kind of play off of that in the classroom. And if someone was always the quarterback on the playground, football, then I would make him a quarterback somewhere else in the room, because not getting that, they just don't think that they're valuable enough to be a head of a group or something, and they would always prove me right. They would always do very well.
That's awesome.
Another scary thing, the second scary thing, was the fire escapes. We were up pretty high, and they were made of metal grating that you could see straight through.
Mm-hmm.
So it was hard to negotiate. It's hard to see where the next step was as you're coming down. So to get students out of the building in a rather quick time was hard, because everybody was going down trying. And then they wouldn't. I said, just don't look down. Just hang on and try to step. So it took you a while to get out because of those fire escapes were scary.
That's interesting.
And when I got to the new building, I became fifth grade. Well, I'll take that back. I was a fifth grade teacher then down at Salem. I switched over to fifth grade after so long. I like exploring what's happening in the other worlds. And I love my team. I haven't been with a team of teachers or a group of teachers or a group of students that they haven't taken a part of me with them wherever they've gone.
Sure.
So it is exciting to see someone like you, Ryan and Cam, coming back to our community and contributing like that. That's what we want. We're trying to produce good, honest citizens that give back.
Yeah. And
you guys, thank you for doing this.
Absolutely.
So after the fifth grade down there, then they built a new school. Well, I had an idea that since they purchased the land, we'd bus everybody down to the school and plant trees. And the school board and the superintendent and principal were all on board. Mr. Emerson Brown was very supportive. And down to the cornfields we went, bussed them down there. It was muddy, and the bus drivers were very helpful in allowing us to get those trees planted there in the land lab. And then when we did build the new school, I had every student K through 12 go and plant all the pine trees in the back. Everybody has a tree back there.
Wow.
So that was back in 1989, 90. Well, some of the trees are gone because we needed a soccer field, and so. But there's a nice group still back there if you look. And those pine trees have grown very nicely. And if you planted on that side, you should go back and show your children that this is the tree I planted when I was in the third grade.
Right. That's awesome.
But you guys were.
Yeah, we just missed it.
Yeah, you just
I did it.
missed it.
I did.
Got to plant?
I was kindergarten because I was here for the whole thing.
Okay, awesome. Do you remember planting?
Yeah, by the playground. We did. I don't think we did the pine trees. I think we participated in the trees.
In the trees in the land lab? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and taking all those children out in a muddy field and then getting them back on the bus. I mean, the kids enjoyed the mud, the guys, hey, this is fun. No, plant the tree, fellas. But it was...
That's cool.
Yeah, and I know we had money, came in the school, and the janitor, everybody was very, at least very kind.
Yeah.
But maybe there were some words said that, but we tried to keep it, clean up our mess and so forth. But I remember down the one story that was, in my classroom I would have a variety of things. And I would go to taxidermists and see if they would, donate anything to the school. And there's a lot of laws about taxidermists doing that and everything. So I had to write to the natural resources to get some stuffed animals for my room and for our library.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got some stuffed fish and a fox and everything. And those all ended up back in our new library.
Mhm.
But in my classroom, I had a water tank. And I would try to have local fish, because I love to fish. I would go out and fish and get a local fish, like a bluegill, catfish in the tank 1 month, bluegill in there 1 month, a trout, which it was well known. Mad River was well known for trout fish.
Sure.
And it used to be that there were trout fishers along 287 or 245 going out east of town from all over, Michigan, Wisconsin, come down to trout fish in our little stream.
Wow.
So yeah, it was wow.
Yeah.
So one day, 1 month I had a bluegill in there, in the tank. And, the kids would always look at it and everything like that and just think it was neat. Well, I had one boy that he would go up and go, like that to
Yeah.
the tank. And bluegills do that a lot. And so we tried to, during that month, observe the bluegill and see where some interesting in a little tank, what could we observe?
Yeah.
But we noticed he didn't surface very much. He stayed in the middle. So that had to do with pressure or something, or the temperature of the water in that area. That was one of the hypotheses we would use in science. Well, anyway, this boy was so infatuated with his fish. And he would go over, well, one day he got over into the tank and he did that very close to the edge of the water. That fish came up, bit him on the lip. That fish is hanging on, he's flapping, that fish is flapping here, there, and he's trying to get the fish off his lip.
Yeah.
And everybody's sitting there like,
Yeah.
what the world did he do? But he did not touch it with his hands. Eventually, he got it off his lip. And you're just kind of, what? So, and his lips bleeding, you don't have a nurse or anything. His lips bleeding. So, what kind of letter went home on that one? Can you imagine? And I don't know what the mother thought, but I'm sure she thought, what is Mrs. Sparks teaching my child? And I'm not quite sure how he explained it when he got home.
Sure.
What's that Band-Aid on you? Well, this bluegill bit. Yeah.
I got attacked by a bluegill.
I hope that he shares that story with his children.
Sure, absolutely. That's amazing.
And yes, it is amazing. But he was so infatuated with that bluegill, and I think that bluegill must have been tired of him going up to the
Yeah.
thing and I'll show
Mocking
you.
him.
Gotta show you, buddy. Yeah. And the water flying,
That's awesome.
And we had blackboards all the way around, so the water just sprayed.
Yeah.
But that was, and so again, I learned a lesson. I had to set parameters for the tank, talk about how close we got. But every day was a learning experience for
Not only the
me as
students,
well.
but the teachers.
Yes, absolutely. We all had those stories.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I didn't even think that you could get it, that a fish could bite you like that, like a bluegill.
Me
You know?
either. Me either.
You learn.
So and you experience something that you would never think could happen.
Yeah.
And I was standing at the door, talking to another teacher. And you know how a teacher stands at the door and will look in and everything. Pretty soon, it's dead quiet. And it's never dead quiet when the teacher's out of the room. And then everyone says, oh no, and I turn and it's just as the fish is going back for the second time and he's getting him off of his lip. How did this happen?
Yeah.
So, but,
That's hilarious.
Yes, but then I became, then that we went to the new school and I was still 5th grade teacher. And then I became, Mr. Amick retired in the middle of the year and I became the principal. I had gone, I had a master's in teacher leader because I thought I never want to leave the classroom. But I thought, well, if I was the principal, I could know all the students
Yeah.
quicker and get to influence them maybe
Sure.
in a positive way. So I went back and got a second master's in administration. And I continue to strive to work with children. I'm working now part-time at Mount Vernon Nazarene University with student teachers on this side of the state. And I get to be back in the classroom, and I get to meet young educators that are going to educate our future.
Yeah.
So and the young futurists that I get to rub elbows with every day, the young little children. So I'm still excited about it.
Yeah.
But when I became administrator, I thought, okay, what can